Hey, y'all hear me all right tonight? Wow, that light's crazy. There we go, I guess. Screw it. All right, so, yeah, y'all hear me all right? Good to go. I don't know, I've been having mic issues lately, I guess. Groovy. All right, so, yeah, since I changed times, I don't know if it'll be more than y'all here. I'm surprised Leslie hasn't popped up somewhere. She was here earlier. Where'd begin? I didn't, like, my mind just blanked. I got so busy making a thumbnail for this stream that I just totally blanked. Didn't realize what time it was till that time. But I can tell you, the U.S. has expelled their second ranking diplomat at Russia's U.S. embassy, and the U.S. can't confirm reports that Russian forces have taken control of anything at any point in time. And I believe we need to talk about a ceasefire with Russia. Now, the Ukrainian President Zelensky, he said that in the video message. And, well, after talking to a ton of Eastern and Western Ukrainian people, the majority of them say that they haven't so much as seen a bit of bloodshed, any kind of violence, anything in the last 2 days, despite what mainstream media that we're forced to have says. Now, I was trying to get on certain Russian websites and to prove that a lot of the reasons that the globalists, the United Nations, everyone does not want them to be an influence, doesn't want them on the board. I mean, Biden or whoever, continuity of government, who knows? Live action role play, it's hard to tell, but like, I'd like to start off with showing you guys the bit that no one plays on TV here, which you'd think they would, with President Vladimir Putin actually addressing basically everyone to let them know what's going on, like from his mouth. You don't really see crap about this. And now Andreas Exertus, I'm sure you guys might have heard of him. I don't know. But he popped up the other night to translate that. And I am going to put the source for his translation, even though it's on the video as well. I'm going to put the source in the show notes afterwards, along with the rest of the sources that I had yet to put, including the place where I get my healing coils on eBay, Russian eBay, actually, surprisingly. And who the heck? Let me turn notifications off. And I don't know, I doubt Rex Sparrow will come, but I sent him an invite. What the bloody hell? Are you kidding me? Whoops, that was me accidentally calling him. I thought I hit home, but I guess not. All right. Yeah, this translation is someone who knows what the heck they're doing, but I think this speech deserves a Nobel Prize. Let's kick that up a notch here.
Addressed by the President of the Russian Federation, citizens of Russia. Friends, I consider it necessary today to speak again about the tragic events in Donbass.
Can you guys hear it?
And the key aspects of ensuring the security of Russia. I will begin with what I said in my address on February 21st, 2022. I spoke about our biggest concerns and worries, and about the fundamental threats which irresponsible Western politicians created for Russia consistently, rudely and unceremoniously from year to year.
Is it playing the sound through there or through my mic?
Which is moving its military infrastructure ever closer to the Russian border. It is a fact that over the past 30 years we have been patiently trying to come to an agreement with the leading NATO countries regarding the principles of equal and indivisible security in Europe. In response to our proposals, we invariably faced either cynical deception and lies or attempts at pressure and blackmail, while the North Atlantic Alliance continued to expand despite our protests and concerns. Its military machine is moving in, as I said, is approaching our very border. Why is this happening? Where did this insolent manner of talking down from the height of their exceptionalism, infallibility, and all permissiveness come from? What is the explanation for this contemptuous and disdainful attitude to our interests and absolutely legitimate demands? The answer is simple. Everything is clear and obvious. In the late 1980s, the Soviet Union grew weaker and subsequently broke apart. That experience should serve as a good lesson for us, because it has shown us that the paralysis of power and will is the first step towards complete degradation and oblivion. We lost confidence for only one moment, but it was enough to disrupt the balance of forces in the world. As a result, the old treaties and agreements are no longer effective. Entreaties and requests do not help. Anything that does not suit the dominant state, the powers that be, is denounced as archaic, obsolete, and useless. At the same time, everything it regards as useful is presented as the ultimate truth and forced on others regardless of the cost, abusively and by any means available. Those who refuse to comply are subjected to strong arm tactics. What I am saying now does not concern only Russia, and Russia is not the only country that is worried about this. This has to do with the entire system of international relations, and sometimes even U.S. allies. The collapse of the Soviet Union led to a division of the world, and the norms of international law that developed by that time, and the most important of them, the fundamental norms that were adopted following World War II and largely formalized its outcome, came in the way of those who declared themselves the winners of the Cold War. Of course, practice, international relations, and the rules regulating them had to take into account the changes that took place in the world and in the balance of forces. However, this should have been done professionally, smoothly, patiently, and with due regard and respect for the interests of all states and one's own responsibility. Instead, we saw a state of euphoria created by the feeling of absolute superiority, a kind of modern absolutism, coupled with the low cultural standards and arrogance of those who formulated and pushed through decisions that suited only themselves. The situation took a different turn. There are many examples of this. First, a bloody military operation was waged against Belgrade, without the UN Security Council's sanction, but with combat aircraft and missiles used in the heart of Europe. The bombing of peaceful cities and vital infrastructure went on for several weeks. I have to recall these facts because some Western colleagues prefer to forget them, and when we mention the event, they prefer to avoid speaking about international law, instead emphasizing the circumstances which they interpret as they think necessary. Then came the turn of Iraq, Libya, and Syria, the illegal use of military power against Libya, and the distortion of all the UN Security Council decisions on Libya ruined the state, created a huge seed of international terrorism, and pushed the country towards a humanitarian catastrophe, into the vortex of a civil war, which has continued there for years. The tragedy which was created for hundreds of thousands and even millions of people not only in Libya, but in the whole region, has led to a large-scale exodus from the Middle East and North Africa to Europe. A similar fate was also prepared for Syria. The combat operations conducted by the Western coalition in that country without the Syrian government's approval or Security Council's sanction can only be defined as aggression and intervention. But the example that stands apart from the above events is, of course, the invasion of Iraq without any legal grounds. They used the pretext of allegedly reliable information available in the United States about the presence of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. To prove that allegation, the U.S. Secretary of State held up a vial with white powder, publicly, for the whole world to see, assuring the international community that it was a chemical warfare agent created in Iraq. It later turned out that all of that was a fake and a sham, and that Iraq did not have any chemical weapons. Incredible and shocking, but true. The witness lies made at the highest state level and voiced from the higher rostrum. As a result, we see a tremendous loss in human life, damage, destruction, and a colossal upsurge of terrorism. Overall, it appears that nearly everywhere in many regions of the world where the United States brought its law and order, this created bloody, non-healing wounds and the curse of international terrorism and extremism. I have only mentioned the most glaring, but far from only examples of disregard for international law. This array includes promises not to expand NATO eastwards even by an inch. To reiterate, they have deceived us, or, to put it simply, they have played us. Sure, one often hears that politics is a dirty business. It could be, but it shouldn't be as dirty as it is now. Not to such an extent. This type of con artist behavior is contrary not only to the principles of international relations, but also and above all to the generally accepted norms of morality and ethics. Where is justice and truth here? Just lies and hypocrisy all around. Incidentally, U.S. politicians, political scientists, and journalists write and say that a veritable empire of lies has been created inside the United States in recent years. It is hard to disagree with this. It is really so. But one should not be modest about it. The United States is still a great country, and a system forming power. All its satellites not only humbly and obediently say yes to and parrot it at the slightest pretext, but also imitate its behavior, and enthusiastically accept the rules it is offering them. Therefore, one can say with good reason and confidence that the whole so-called Western Bloc formed by the United States in its own image and likeness is, in its entirety, the very same empire of lies. As for our country, after the disintegration of the USSR, given the entire unprecedented openness of the new, modern Russia, its readiness to work honestly with the United States and other Western partners, and its practically unilateral disarmament, they immediately tried to put the final squeeze on us, finish us off, and utterly destroy us. This is how it was in the 1990s and the early 2000s, when the so-called collective West was actively supporting separatism and gangs of mercenaries in southern Russia. What victims, what losses we had to sustain, and what trials we had to go through at that time before we broke the back of international terrorism in the Caucasus. We remember this and will never forget. Properly speaking, the attempts to use us in their own interests never ceased until quite recently. They sought to destroy our traditional values and force on us their false values that would erode us, our people from within, the attitudes they have been aggressively imposing on their countries, attitudes that are directly leading to degradation and degeneration. Because they are contrary to human nature, this is not going to happen. No one has ever succeeded in doing this, nor will they succeed now. Despite all that, in December 2021, we made yet another attempt to reach agreement with the United States and its allies on the principles of European security and NATO's non-expansion. Our efforts were in vain. The United States has not changed its position. It does not believe it necessary to agree with Russia on a matter that is critical for us. The United States is pursuing its own objectives, while neglecting our interests. Of course, this situation begs a question. What next? What are we to expect? If history is any guide, we know that in 1940 and early 1941, the Soviet Union went to great lengths to prevent war or at least delay its outbreak. To this end, the USSR sought not to provoke the potential aggressor until the very end by refraining or postponing the most urgent and obvious preparations it had to make to defend itself from an imminent attack. When it finally acted, it was too late. As a result, the country was not prepared to counter the invasion by Nazi Germany, which attacked our motherland on June 22, 1941. Without declaring war, the country stopped the enemy and went on to defeat it. But this came at a tremendous cost. The attempt to appease the aggressor ahead of the Great Patriotic War proved to be a mistake which came at a high cost for our people. In the first months after the hostilities broke out, we lost vast territories of strategic importance, as well as millions of lives. We will not make this mistake the second time. We have no right to do so. Those who aspire to global dominance have publicly designated Russia as their enemy. They did so with impunity. Make no mistake, they had no reason to act this way. It is true that they have considerable financial, scientific, technological, and military capabilities. We are aware of this and have an objective view of the economic threats we have been hearing, just as our ability to counter this brash and never-ending blackmail. Let me reiterate that we have no illusions in this regard and are extremely realistic in our assessments. As for military affairs, even after the dissolution of the USSR and losing a considerable part of its capabilities, today's Russia remains one of the most powerful nuclear states. Moreover, it has a certain advantage in several cutting-edge weapons. In this context, there should be no doubt for anyone that any potential aggressor will face defeat and ominous consequences should it directly attack our country. At the same time, technology, including in the defense sector, is changing rapidly. One day there is one leader, and tomorrow another, but a military presence in territories bordering on Russia. If we permit it to go ahead, will stay for decades to come or maybe forever, creating an ever-mounting and totally unacceptable threat for Russia. Even now, with NATO's eastward expansion, the situation for Russia has been becoming worse and more dangerous by the year. Moreover, these past days NATO leadership has been blunt in its statements that they need to accelerate and step up efforts to bring the alliance's infrastructure closer to Russia's borders. In other words, they have been toughening their position. We cannot stay idle and passively observe these developments. This would be an absolutely irresponsible thing to do for us. Any further expansion of the North Atlantic Alliance's infrastructure or the ongoing efforts to gain a military foothold of the Ukrainian territory are unacceptable for us. Of course, the question is not about NATO itself. It merely serves as a tool of US foreign policy. The problem is that in territories adjacent to Russia, which I have to note is our historical land, a hostile anti-Russia is taking shape, fully controlled from the outside. It is doing everything to attract NATO armed forces and obtain cutting-edge weapons. For the United States and its allies, it is a policy of containing Russia, with obvious geopolitical dividends. For our country, it is a matter of life and death, a matter of our historical future as a nation. This is not an exaggeration. This is a fact. It is not only a very real threat to our interests, but to the very existence of our state and to its sovereignty. It is the red line which we have spoken about on numerous occasions. They have crossed it. This brings me to the situation in Donbass. We can see that the forces that staged the coup in Ukraine in 2014 have seized power, are keeping it with the help of ornamental election procedures, and have abandoned the path of a peaceful conflict settlement. For 8 endless years, we have been doing everything possible to settle the situation by peaceful political means. Everything was in vain. As I said in my previous address, you cannot look without compassion at what is happening there. It became impossible to tolerate it. We had to stop that atrocity, that genocide of the millions of people who live there and who pin their hopes on Russia. On all of us, it is their aspirations, the feelings and pain of these people that were the main motivating force behind our decision to recognize the independence of the Donbass People's Republics. I would like to additionally emphasize the following. Focus on their own goals. The leading NATO countries are supporting the far-right nationalists and neo-Nazis in Ukraine, those who will never forgive the people of Crimea and Sevastopol for freely making a choice to reunite with Russia. They will undoubtedly try to bring war to Crimea just as they have done in Donbass, to kill innocent people just as members of the punitive units of Ukrainian nationalists and Hitler's accomplices did during the Great Patriotic War. They have also openly laid claim to several other Russian regions. If we look at the sequence of events and the incoming reports, the showdown between Russia and these forces cannot be avoided. It is only a matter of time. They are getting ready and waiting for the right moment. Moreover, they went as far as aspire to acquire nuclear weapons. We will not let this happen. I have already said that Russia accepted the new geopolitical reality after the dissolution of the USSR. We have been treating all new post-Soviet states with respect and will continue to act this way. We respect and will respect their sovereignty, as proven by the assistance we provided to Kazakhstan when it faced tragic events and a challenge in terms of its statehood and integrity. However, Russia cannot feel safe, develop, and exist while facing a permanent threat from the territory of today's Ukraine. Let me remind you that in 200 we used our military to push back against terrorists in the Caucasus and stood up for the integrity of our state. We preserved Russia. In 2014, we supported the people of Crimea and Sevastopol. In 2015, we used our armed forces to create a reliable shield that prevented terrorists from Syria from penetrating Russia. This was a matter of defending ourselves. We had no other choice. The same is happening today. They did not leave us any other option for defending Russia and our people, other than the one we are forced to use today. In these circumstances, we have to take bold and immediate action. The People's Republics of Donbass have asked Russia for help. In this context, in accordance with Article 51 of the UN Charter, with permission of Russia's Federation Council, and in execution of the treaties of friendship and mutual assistance with the Donetsk People's Republic and the Lugansk People's Republic, ratified by the Federal Assembly on February 22nd, I made a decision to carry out a special military operation. The purpose of this operation is to protect people who, for 8 years now, have been facing humiliation and genocide perpetrated by the Kiev regime. To this end, we will seek to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine, as well as bring to trial those who perpetrated numerous bloody crimes against civilians, including against citizens of the Russian Federation. It is not our plan to occupy the Ukrainian territory. We do not intend to impose anything on anyone by force. At the same time, we have been hearing an increasing number of statements coming from the West that there is no need anymore to abide by the documents setting forth the outcomes of World War II, as signed by the totalitarian Soviet regime. How can we respond to that? The outcomes of World War II and the sacrifices our people had to make to defeat Nazism are sacred. This does not contradict the high values of human rights and freedoms in the reality that emerged over the post-war decades. This does not mean that nations cannot enjoy the right to self-determination, which is enshrined in Article 1 of the UN Charter. Let me remind you that the people living in territories which are part of today's Ukraine were not asked how they want to build their lives when the USSR was created or after World War II. Freedom guides our policy, the freedom to choose independently our future and the future of our children. We believe that all the peoples living in today's Ukraine, anyone who wants to do this, must be able to enjoy this right to make a free choice. In this context, I would like to address the citizens of Ukraine. In 2014, Russia was obliged to protect the people of Crimea and Sevastopol from those who you yourself call Nats. The people of Crimea and Sevastopol made their choice in favor of being with their historical homeland, Russia, and we supported their choice. As I said, we could not act otherwise. The current events have nothing to do with the desire to infringe on the interests of Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. They are connected with the defending Russia from those who have taken Ukraine hostage and are trying to use it against our country and our people. I reiterate, we are acting to defend ourselves from the threats created for us and from a worse peril than what is happening now. I am asking you, however hard this may be, to understand this and to work together with us so as to turn this tragic page as soon as possible and to move forward together without allowing anyone to interfere in our affairs and our relations, but developing them independently so as to create favorable conditions for overcoming all these problems and to strengthen us from within as a single whole. Despite the existence of state borders, I believe in this, in our common future. I would also like to address the military personnel of the Ukrainian armed forces. Comrade officers, your fathers, grandfathers, and great-grandfathers did not fight the Nazi occupiers and did not defend our common motherland to allow today's neo-Nazis to seize power in Ukraine. You swore the oath of allegiance to the Ukrainian people and not to the junta, the people's adversary which is plundering Ukraine and humiliating the Ukrainian people. I urge you to refuse to carry out their criminal orders. I urge you to immediately lay down arms and go home. I will explain what this means. The military personnel of the Ukrainian army who do this will be able to freely leave the zone of hostilities and return to their families. I want to emphasize again that all responsibility for the possible bloodshed will lie fully and wholly with the ruling Ukrainian regime. To be continued.
All right. I fixed my mic back here. I'm guessing that was a bot, since it wasn't quite yeah. Anyway. All right. So man, I really need to figure out how to disable that autofocus. Drives me nuts. Yeah, I blocked him at some point, I think. I don't think I can mess with autofocus while going through StreamYard. Wow. It was clear a bit ago. Maybe I'll just turn on a light. No Alexa devices in here. Awesome. I don't know what the crap it's focusing on even. Why wouldn't it be failing? There you go. Yeah, that's too bright. I wish I could dim that shit now. Yeah, that's too bright. Fuck it. I don't care. Wow, I can't do anything tonight. Awesome. The light, it blinds me as I enter the hole. All right. Yeah, so, as far as my deep diving goes, I did go on Rumble and speak with a few Ukrainians and whatnot, and that was by complete accident. And I was on a Viva La Fray or Viva Fray, whatever, Rumble, and there was no actual show. It was just a video of Lawnmower Man, which was odd. And yeah. Anyway, Lawnmower Man, strangeness. Anyway, there was a bunch of people conversing, and it was either Americans that watch too much television, or there was a few people from Eastern Ukraine, a few people from Western Ukraine, people in random other countries, but everyone seemed to have the basic general opinion that I did on everything regarding the war being a distraction. And basically it seems like it's boiling down to the globalist banker, whatever, United Nations, Hague Treaty member countries, I don't know. They're all trying to pull a Saddam, or they're all trying to pull a Saddam or a Gaddafi thing, where the let me hide that comment, where basically Russia has adopted cryptocurrency, and that was like a week or two ago now. And while all the focus was on Canada, and as I'm going to circle back here, because I can't stop thinking about wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I'm gonna actually just start at the beginning. I'm gonna recap in as short a way as possible. Funds definitely came from Burisma through the Atlantic Council, where the bad actor like Soros, we all know who he is, and the blonde lady, don't even feel like looking up her name. It's gonna take time. They funded straight to the guys in the former Rexit movement, which is now, I believe, called the Maverick party, whatever, that started the honking, whatever, the trucker protest, the convoy in Canada. They funded the guys who literally started, the two guys. One is probably the Canadian version of MI6, CIS or something like that. CISI, I don't know. Bedazzling. That is my. Are you talking about the green shirt, or that green shirt? Because yeah, that was my dad's from the 70s, I believe. I don't know. It's really thin and in 70s ish. I'll have to put the alien in a hemp colorful hippie t-shirt, even though my dad didn't do drugs. I don't know how the hell him and my mom were hippies, but it is what it is. They protest, they wear hemp shirts. I don't know. Anyway, point is, it was controlled opposition. It got out of hand, and I'm sure, unless there's some more tricks up their sleeve, which it's very possible, because we all know how much Biden was promising the UN, and just like Trudeau was about the vaccine passports being pushed through, because of countries like I believe it's France and one other place next to France. I don't remember, have so much money basically coming from Ukraine. Like their economy depends so much on them, and they're entangled in so many different ways corporately that basically they are kind of forced to back Ukraine in any way possible. And Ukraine is trying to be UN member states or NATO. I don't remember which. Could be Poland. I'll pull up the tweets here in a minute. I actually had a bunch of Zero Hedge ready to go. Can you believe there's only 21 full democracies in the world and USA is not one of them? That's crazy. But yes. There we go. I don't know. But I can say that according to Putin and according to everything I could find dark webbing around, I'm just going to call it that. That's not at all what I was doing, but I can't put myself in that position even if this is a live action role play, because I'm sure DHS isn't stupid. Yes, basically. I mean, their president, the guy who looks like his name is Voldemort. It's like Volodymyr Zelensky or something. I don't know. He played a president in TV show over there. So they puppet installed him as the president of the country. I mean, if that's not a dead giveaway, I don't know what to tell you. It's like I don't know. It's like how many freaking actors that have ended up presidents here, kind of, more or less. Truth, 2019 was when he got installed, and and I was watching the U.S. convoy organizer, right, and the organizer is just standing in front of a green screen. It looks like he was like professionally, like he looks like a professional speaker, and it looks like it was all like, I don't know, it seems off. Even Millie Weaver agrees with me on that. There was lighting, cuts, angles, all sorts of stuff. Just something didn't seem right. It seemed to Ronnie Reagan. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, okay, yeah. Wordplay. Gotcha. Hold on. That's for wordplay. But so all right. A side effect of the trucking, the convoy in Canada, it wasn't, unless they got some tricks up their sleeve, it wasn't intended to actually backfire on Trudeau like that. And the intentions were to get it to come to America. And when it moved to America and all the flack came back on Trudeau and they started making him go back on everything he said by using the system to, actually holding the laws and everything accountable, like using the system to support itself and restore the freedoms based on, I have no idea who Tracy Beans is, but the US version, I came to the conclusion, and I already shared it, that I think I shared it the other day, that their intention is to insert a bad actor sometime before DC. And I think they're going to use this war with Russia nonsense as their distraction. So everyone in the trucker convoy here won't have any idea that some bad actor has been installed. I mean, they have to justify all that heightened security at the gates and all this nonsense since the insurrection, where everyone's seen the video of the cops letting people in, and BLM organizer, like the terrorist part, like telling everyone to wear things that fool the cameras so they can't have their identities got by what I'm trying to say. Anyway, he actually had a personal tour with Pelosi and Secret Service the day before, and there's a video of that floating around, and where he accidentally left the camera on when his girlfriend got a hold of the camera, and he was like, he forgot to edit himself out of the video. Anyway, yeah, and all the videos that were put out regarding him training people on big Zoom calls and Skype calls and whatnot, like conference calls, telling everyone what to do. And, so some bad actor like that is going to be stupid enough to be manipulated, most likely. Maybe it'll be FBI themselves or DHS, who knows? Like I said, this is live action role play. Anything can happen, but but yeah, someone's going to be inserted. I don't know, but they're going to justify all of those big gates that have been nonsensically up that have created more conspiracy theories than they've been justified by anything real. And who knows, maybe someone is going to drive a truck into a important building. Who knows? I mean, that would certainly do it. And those are some heavy duty ass like fences. I mean, who's going to do anything that the small militaristic wing of Capitol Police that they've created wouldn't easily be able to hold off, even a riot squad? Because it's not like another country's going to come up on the beach and storm the Capitol. I mean, come on, we're not getting invaded. People aren't stupid, and everyone's got guns. Well, according to polls, I guess a quarter of this country is stupid, but I don't know. But a quarter of the country is all that wants to go to war with Russia, regardless of what anyone believes. And that's the most recent poll I've seen. But interestingly enough, I almost wore my button that says "Dare" to say no to drugs or something, or to keep kids off drugs. I don't remember. I almost wore that pin, but regardless, the energy thing, Biden screwed up big time with letting the sanctions be lightened on Russia for the pipeline, which he profited off of through Burisma. And Burisma hired his son as a consult for energy stuff that no one can seem to explain. And he has no prior background because he's one of those rich millennial drug addicts that run around just bouncing around on their parents' money, having sex with hookers and smoking crack, apparently. But yeah, I didn't need to tell you any of that. I don't believe. But what's hard to find anymore is the picture of him and Biden, like trying to get some young ass looking girl, supposedly a hooker, to do obscene things with them. But I have only saw part of that. I think my mom was watching it on somewhere. I don't know. She was stuck in the internet when all this was going out around and located that. But I can't find it anymore. And the audio, I think, is what we found. We didn't find the video, just the audio. John Kerry's son worked for Burisma. Like I said, we need to use the system to abolish the multi-party system and just have individuals who stand for individual things and let that person just be a representative. Because, I mean, they can be like a democratic representative, someone that goes and speaks on behalf of what they and the governors of each of the states have come up with, and as a democracy where they all just get up there like parliament, and we can do away with a lot of things by making things like that. But we just keep the Senate and the House sort of checks and balances for things like war and some interstate crimes and things like that. The things that they would actually be useful at, maybe infrastructure. But most of the power needs to go to the states. Each state needs to have its own more than a national guard. It's got to have a militia, maybe. I don't know. Maybe county militias, something, so that those people could actually go overseas while the National Guard is busy guarding the nation from the inside, like they usually do, I guess. Maybe be reserves for the states. I don't know. There can be a federal military that way. Anyhow, what's up, Eric? Anyhow, so beyond the power, the energy, and Burisma and all the bad actors there, Burisma Holdings, I should say specifically. If we were to get rid of Russia, we would also be saving the American petrodollar, which, believe it or not, these banksters that, you know, have corporatized the world and own all the corporations pretty much between 9 families. Maybe it's less. I heard one of the family members died off or sold or something. Regardless, the banksters and the Swiss banks, stuff like that, they all run on the American petrodollar still. It is still the dominant currency, and the most counterfeited bill in the world is the American $100 bill. And if it's being threatened by crypto, because I mean, most of the crime in the world, that the continuity of government, the military industrial complex, the secret service organizations for all the different countries, they have a lot more trouble being able to do things clandestinely without cash. And cash is still king, believe it or not. And crypto is traceable thanks to the blockchain. And there's very few ways to not be traced unless you do things the right way. And even still, there's ways. Most people aren't intelligent enough to do it the right way and cover all the bases, because nothing's 100% secure. As long as there's technology, there's always going to be someone that finds a way around it. And oats, potato, vodka, cancel corn. Anyway, yeah. So also something that goodness, you're killing me here. Something that also threatens the state of power and control in the world is Russia on what looked like a version of not Backpage. What is that thing where people bulletin board stuff? Anyway, there was people selling free energy devices for like a double-digit thousand number of dollars, and well, rubles, whatever Russia runs on. And they were accepting cryptocurrency as well, but it was promising 15 kilowatt hours consistent for life. And there were other things. And since Bernie, the alchemist, and Mike, they've pretty much proven that it is possible, cold fusion and free energy. And Russia has been way ahead of the West on that stuff, since it hasn't been looked down upon by the crazy Western idealism. Like when we split up Nazi Germany's spoils, we took the physical, they took the more esoteric pseudoscience things, and fought over the rest, more or less. And like, I don't know, we turned into the drug dealers here in America that just shove material things on everyone and tax the shit out of them for everything, and they became the thinkers over there. So and really digging deep in things because they knew of the esoteric roots, and they knew with their Tartarian roots what is truly possible in this life. So meanwhile, we're over here getting, damn, I'm putting this to Rumble later, but I am on YouTube now, so I'm not going to speak my thoughts on what happened over here. Thank you for the link there, by the way. But will you also throw Mike's channel in there too, please? And even Campbell's. Thank you. Craziness. Anyway, so that threatens control. Like the last thing the globalists want is people to have free energy, not have to pay for it. And they don't believe that the sun is the only thing that controls whether this planet is hot or cold, and it doesn't matter what people do as far as emissions and carbon dioxide go, because carbon dioxide only makes the earth greener. The ocean provides us of 89% of our oxygen, and trees provide only the amount of air that you're standing next to. Like you got to be standing next to it to be breathing air that oxygen is putting off, but they scrub the air and make it cleaner. So basically all these globalists are wanting to do is ditch oil, because they know they've done let the cat out of the bag with free energy over here to some degree, because they're not censoring it anymore, and they're trying to slowly progress to it instead of having to admit that they've lied all this time. And with Russia adopting crypto, which kills the petrodollar, and basically having energy dominance with what is being used, like the pipelines and whatnot, and until we're fully transitioned, because they probably don't want to fully they probably want to transition slowly to the free energy racket, since I didn't think to ask anyone, but I'm fairly positive that while it's not like commonplace, it is extremely popular and has been for a few years over there, but they're still trying to keep a lid on that. So I mean, hell, we'll probably still need oil and gas for all sorts of things, but personally I don't believe oil is what they say it is. I believe it's like a lifeblood of the planet, and whenever you have an oil well that goes dry, ask anyone that owns an oil field, give it like I don't know, it's a few days or a few weeks, something like that, and poof, just as much as normal. I mean, it's inexhaustible, so it shouldn't be charged as heavily as it is, unless it's actually killing the planet to use. Then that's another story, but for another time, I do guess. Let's see. Not really sure where to go from there, but I mean, all the connections have been made. Yeah, we need solid state cold fusion. Or did you guys know that there's actually in France, not surprisingly, they have two separate projects. You know how China has the sun, basically basically a big cold fusion like plasma like sun in a containment. Like France has two of them. They're not as big as the one China's got going on, I don't think, or maybe there's one bigger than China, but that's not the point of the stream either. But yeah, they've been experimenting with that for a long time, and any real scientist knows that dark matter isn't a thing. They found dark matter, which is just basically best way to describe it, negative space, like the opposite of the ether. Anywhere the ether is not is dark matter, which well, what they say is dark matter. But they were able to see bits of that by shooting atoms at each other or whatever, protons, neutrons, electrons. I don't know what they're shooting, because I don't believe in the whole balls rubbing it up against each other making reality nonsense, when everything's just stacked hydrogen. And that's, I don't know, it makes better sense with the periodic table, even if you just consider stacked hydrogen, just hydrogen multiplying in certain form, and that's how you get the elements. But I wouldn't consider them balls. I don't feel like, just like the flat earthers don't feel like that we are spinning, and whatnot, despite it fully makes sense to me that the Earth is spinning and how the water stays on with the magnetic field and the atmospheric pressure contained because of the magnetic field, and also how there was more oxygen before, and comets going by taking off a large portion of the oxygen and frying a bit of the planet, which I don't believe too many major comets have hit the planet. I believe like the Younger Dryas, it had to have been caused by the last solar flash, the last end of the great year, solar sneeze, the CME, the last Baktun. Noble gases are a layer cake. Nice. Yeah, that's because of the ether that is everywhere, and the different elements that are existing within the ether that cause our air to have a lensing effect, and the magnetic field also bending the light, and the water coming down, rainbow material, all of it. And gravity, it's just a side effect of the magnetism based on the ball of plasma at the center of our planet. But this is not the time or the place. I had more. I'm gonna go over to the Twitters, the tweeters. I didn't use Twitter except to enter contests until like a few months ago. Last box, Baktun. It's the Mayan Great Year. With the changes in the dating of things, and how no one's really sure if years were added on in the Dark Ages or subtracted, and considering the Mayans, the way they did their dating isn't 100% certain either. If you use the Torah, the first books of the Bible, you do some sort of gematria with it, according to the Diehold Foundation, Douglas Vogt over there. But he did the gematria, and in my opinion, the only reason that religions have made it is because the Torah has exactly the timing of these solar cycles that end things, and well, not end things, they end the age and begin the age, and basically tell us when big events that we're going to have to hide underground or get flooded by are going to happen. Like, and and oh, good, I'm not even typing on that screen. That's good. Anyway, but that, according to Douglas Vogt, is going to be coming up in October, roughly, of 2046. I believe it's 2046. I'm bad with numbers. I hate numbers. Anyone who knows me knows that already, but pretty positive considering how many times I've had to repeat that. But I figure that's when he's figuring the next CME is going to hit, and the confluence of the geomagnetic reversal, or just possibly not a complete reversal. But the way it looks now, the poles have been traveling towards the Indian Ocean for quite a while. Last I heard, one was in Siberia, and the other one was still in Antarctica because it's a big mofo. But yeah, everything seems to point to that. All the books, like the Adam and Eve story, which I don't feel like. Oh, Channing Thomas is the author. It was, not been released in full since it was declassified by the CIA. I mean, there's still a ton of pages missing, but it describes everything Douglas Vogt has come up with. And last I heard, he was having a team of scientists design a door, but I believe he's wrong with the safe zones on the planet. And I think something crazy happens during the Baktun with, like, there's electric pulses. They come from galactic center and go out to each of the suns or stars in the solar system, and then they pulse the energy to each of the planetary bodies in that individual solar system, like, well, the entire galaxy's stars into, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Galactic center, where they think a big ass black hole is or something, I don't know, don't remember, don't care, too far away. But signal travels along the little trails because everything's touching. I mean, you take negative space, there's always plasma, all sorts of stuff. Who knows what space is? Maybe it's all a realm of our mind, our souls. Heck, I've heard a convincing story that was extremely detailed, that someone had a dream, and I trust this person. She's actually been on a lot of streams of her own and other people's, of people that I watch. Anyway, she had a dream that we travel, much like in that one movie. Don't remember what it's called either. Damn, I'm blanking on nouns, and I haven't even had any drugs. But she believes we travel in our mind, and can travel in our mind. I'm not saying that like that would be the only way, but I have definitely traveled through what seems like intergalactic space when having a near-death experience, and my heart rate was over 300, which they said was not humanly possible, but that's what their stuff was registering. And me, I was just feeling good and traveling through space consciously. I could travel wherever I wanted to, but I was able to move so fast that the stars just looked like colored, like LED lights in total blackness. And I kept bringing myself back because I study my hands, every line on my hand, the tattoos, stuff like that. There's red paint on my hands right now, and my senior ring and whatnot. Like that's how I bring myself back, or make myself lucid dream. But usually, it's more useful to bring yourself back when you're going out of body. But I digress. Everything at Suspicious Observers agrees. They just confirmed that the galactic sheet. The pulse from Galactic Center is getting stronger. Like it's already been pulsing since we're feeling it more from Grand Solar Minimum. That's when all these volcanoes end up going off, or earthquakes, or the Schumann resonance starts going nuts. Yeah, every time that goes, and the dust from the theories of both the Diehold Foundation and the guy over at Suspicious Observers, whose name I'm not even going to try to think of right now because I'm trying to stay on track. They agree, and the actual dust has settled, that the sun starts to pull in before it finally gets overloaded. I mean, it's constantly pulling in dust. That's what feeds it's what makes it so hot and changes the color here, along with the magnetic field and the atmosphere. That all affects the color of the sun. That's, and the solar minimum is why it's been turning more whitish, and we're able to see more things that we weren't able to see before, because we're not so because we're not so imbued with atmosphere that we can't really see shit anymore. So so the dust is in the galaxy. The extra dust that the pulses from Galactic Center push in, that isn't usually here, and it's starting to settle on the outskirts and slowly getting pulled in. So we're going to be seeing crazier stuff over the next 20 some years. I'm not saying it'll be exactly 22 years or something, or 24 or whatever. Maybe it's 20 anyway. 2042. I don't know. It's between then and 2046. However, not saying it'll be exact, but I mean, these guys haven't been wrong so far, and they're very learned in their fields. And even people that wish to remain unnamed on the main board of NASA have secretly got in touch with suspicious observers to confirm pretty much everything he said. I don't know why anyone's arguing anymore. Yeah, Apophis, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of different huge comets, and also a transit of Venus, which I think might actually be what was considered Apophis, was when Venus was still moving around and wasn't fully settled into its orbit, which also brings on the possibility that originally Jupiter didn't belong in this system and came into this solar system, like settled in place, and in the process we were originally Tiamat and Venus were originally moons of Jupiter, and possibly Mars. Maybe Mars was already there. I don't remember how the story went, but Venus was the last one to fully settle into its place, apparently. And if you channeled the planets, which I highly recommend searching YouTube for Talking with the Planets series, because the planets also tell a story of how Saturn was supposed to be the sun, and then for some reason it became a failed sun, and our current star took its place. I'm not 100% that suns and stars are 100% the same unless all planets are stars. That I would believe, like, in a sense, like I believe that planets are a phase of stars. Maybe I have never heard of Ernest Norman, but I don't know. I'm going to throw the link out in the chat for anyone to come on, because I am delving too deep into too many things and drifting completely away from the fact that, I mean, I don't see how there's any holes to everything I've said, like not making sense. Like by the trucker nonsense here, starting here and going to DC, which, first of all, it shouldn't go to DC. It should stop at a place that's not going to be announced until like last minute, somewhere far away from DC, at least no closer than West by God. Hell, come to Parkersburg. We need some excitement. But anyway, maybe St. Louis, who knows? Just don't go all the way to DC, because that gives them a reason. You need to stop and think about this logically before you go jacking up our illusion of freedom and get it all taken away with martial law from some bad actor that they will likely insert. Maybe not, since I'm saying it now, and I believe that since there is definitely AI, just not in the way most people think, not some kind of crazy self-aware Skynet shit, but to be AI, it doesn't have to be self-aware. AI is made for all sorts of things, like computing tasks that they're calling quantum, but it's just AI. There's no such thing as quantum. People that use that word have no idea what they're talking about usually, so they stick that word up there. And that's not something I made up. I got it from like physicists who stem from like Heaviside, Tesla, people, the greats. Anyway, by the way, no one commented on the shirt. I'm bad with cameras. I love it. Anyhow, cosmic consciousness route map. Oh, really? Did you know online you can also find the date that World War III is going to start in the future online? I forget where I heard that, but I'm sure they verified it. Maybe it was Viva Frey, or whatever. I don't know. It was one of those people that I still believe are controlled opposition, but, well, as far as they know, they're reporting alternative media, but I don't know. They're too busy. Like Crowder is too busy gaining popularity points. Anyone who makes money off of their news directly, more than just a job, like if their company depends on that news making money in and of itself, or they have a company, then chances are they're controlled opposition and being fed information with algorithms, just like YouTube feeds you videos that are more like what they think you want to watch because it's ran by AI. What do you mean, what's T say? Like Mr. T? Pitiful. I just know I need to get back in context now these classes. I've just been lazy. Pity the fool. Anyway. I'm gonna hit the tweets. My shirt. Oh, it just says sex with your girlfriend. 74 people like this. Sorry, I didn't know that you couldn't read it. I didn't know you meant t-shirt. But I forgot that everyone's not on like a screen that's at least 24 inches or larger. But I actually often forget that most people are probably on phones that watch this. Oh, I only got this shirt because someone stole my favorite shirt. It was the long skinny tee, and it was like the emo kind, with the shorter sleeves. And it's from Shindig, a local band from Charleston, West Virginia. They're my favorite when I was in high school, and kind of still. But it said Shindig, satisfying your girlfriend since 1978 or whatever year the singer was born. But I thought it was hilarious. Anyhow, I wish StreamYard would let me stream in 4K. I'm actually probably not going to continue with live streams or StreamYard because I've got a brilliant idea with this, the whole meat suit space trucking thing, where I'm going to be just having casual conversations about deep stuff of all sorts, anything and everything, with cool people, interesting people, funny people, whatever. And basically I'm probably going to just basically not live stream, but just have it pre-recorded. I've come to decide, because I'm going to have a theme, and it involves downstairs where my desktop is not at, so I wouldn't have as good of camera stuff. And I'm just going to put the green screen up here, have it behind me, put the green screen. I've got a bar that I built into the wall. Like, it's like a picture window bar sort of deal that I'm going to use as a news desk sort of thing. And I'm going to call it the hole in the wall as far as the place goes. Because that's literally what it is, with a little flat surface like a breakfast nook. Oh yeah, and I am totally taking back the whole Illuminati thing. You can't see it, but if I had that Portal Plus, it might be doable. But Mom missed the pictures that are on the frame. Damn it, I can't throw something over there for it to focus. Nope, not gonna work. All right, so I'll just bring it to you guys. I like inciting craziness. Acting? Oh, editing. I like editing. It turns out that since I don't edit the live streams, I am not as thrilled with them, and I don't like the times when I sound completely retarded, because it happens a lot. Although with someone else on, which, by the way, let me put that link out there. With someone else on and just having a casual conversation, it'll probably turn out a lot better. But I'm gonna start making a version for YouTube and then one for Rumble and BitChute. Which, by the way, on those places, my channel is Tech Zero. I'll put it in the chat here. And I actually have more views of all my live streams on those places than I do anywhere else. And I've only had them existing for a couple of days now. Doesn't surprise me, though. I wish I felt like paying for Rumble, because I would stream straight to there. But soon, like I said, I'll have the Quixbox and portal up there, and I'll also have my hardware VPN for my entire network, so I can do what I want there. More topics? Yeah, anyone can get on that link, the StreamYard link, which I'm going to pop up right schmauzow. By the way, that's my name on Twitch. However, yeah, just go there and I'll see you pop up in the little backstage area here on here, and I'll buzz you in. Heck, there's probably not. I wonder where that. Yeah, there's one person watching from Twitch, which actually could be my chat mod bot thing. So it could just be the three of us at this moment. I have given the link to Andreas and Rex Bear. I think maybe I just gave it to Rex Bear. I don't remember. But I told Rex Bear to definitely stop by. That's if he checks his Skype. I don't know. Oh, looks like Andreas is with girlfriend that just got there, and he's rain checking me. Cool. No worries, mate. Oh, I forgot I even had a phone. Wow. All right, looks like we're going to Twitter now. Groovy. You should also follow wow, brain fart again. Because he's came up with a similar theory to everything that I said, except he's just missing a few parts, and he takes it all the way back to 9/11, which I didn't feel like going all the way that far back due to my distraction issues today. And as much as I like saying circle back Saki, because it's as fun to say as wacky waving and inflatable arm flailing two men, which I don't know why I'm getting tripped up on that. I say it all the time. I don't know. Maybe my tongue's getting lazy from lack of barbell through it. Which reminds me, I've been meaning to have ear decorations for days, and I keep forgetting. So might as well do it while everyone's watching. Yeah. I miss the wait. Anyway. Kaylee Shackelford. I'm sure that's a real person. So I was hoping I'd have this fun little device ready to do something fun on air just to demonstrate, but I'm real busy not doing that. I'm sorry that you have phone internet. I am. Maybe some satellite internet will be affordable soon, and yeah, I'll send you that. However, I don't know if I've showed this to you all or not, since I found out all sorts of people show guns, and this is an air gun anyway, and we're LARPing. So yeah, this guy right here, Boom. Yeah, that is an arrow. Well, a crossbow bolt to be technical. I just wanted to clarify before someone spotted in the background and thought I had some kind of illegal arms, because this is definitely CO2 powered air rifle. So, and someone's blowing up my phone. Or, oh, it's because I have the tablet on and it's not muted. Good. Who the hell is it? Oh. I did not realize you had sent so many messages. Yeah. I don't know how to do that, by the way, Lady Dragon. And well, I'm just saying that for posterity's sake, but yeah, I don't have you here to ask you certain questions, and I don't know you well enough to be able to do it on oh yeah. I forgot. Was I carrying that whenever I did that? I thought I had the pellet rifle that looks like an actual Sig Sauer machine gun. It probably was that. I'm not sure he was a meth head either, because dude was pretty fast. It was pretty dark, and if he was a meth head, he was probably seeing shadow people to be that odd to be intruding in a property, which pretty much everyone around here knows me, so they know that I have cameras and not to fuck around on my property, because they get holes in them, because that crossbow bolt there will put a dime or a nickel sized hole in someone easily, but like shaped, even perfectly round. It's beautiful. Oh, the stream that I think you did not attend, there was someone wandering around in my yard trying to be incognito that obviously didn't know or didn't care about my cameras. Could have been a meth head, but they ran really fast and it was dark enough to the point where you'd think they'd be seeing shadow people and run into stuff or trip up. But no, this person was used to running, because I am fast as hell, and they outran me pretty well to their vehicle before I even had time to really fully react or figure out what they were doing. But yeah, and they had a vehicle. None of the meth heads in this town have vehicles. They're standing in parking lots, like shirtless, fat, wearing skin tight cut off jeans with the puppet on one hand, singing songs and making out with their puppet, and all sorts of weird stuff. Yeah, they did go down. It went down. They came back about the time that weirdo was creeping through my yard. Anyhow, yeah, definitely. Who doesn't like puppet love? It's what all these left. I don't know. I'm not even going to talk about anything like that. I'm just going to grab my crystal and say trust the fungus. This. Blah. All right. Yeah. So there was something that I was going to demonstrate. Oh yeah, Twitter. That's what I was going to do. By the way, this ain't weed. If anyone's been thinking it has been, it's just completely chemical free nicotine. And by the way, yeah, I could do that if I knew you better, Lady Dragon, as far as your email goes. And remember, that link there on the screen is how you can join in. If you want to join in, talk about anything, preferably not on topic, because I just want to kick back and have an enjoyable conversation about anything nonviolent. But if you want to debate about the facts, ask questions, anything, I'm down for that too. Oh, good. And my backup uninterruptible power supply just started beeping. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It apparently needs new batteries and ran out of backup power. Anyway, share. Share screen. Oh, by the way, I may be battling, well, other than nicotine, but I don't think nicotine is what I enjoy out of it. And I have really, really low nicotine in it, but I don't know. You get like the jewel pods or any of the shit from gas station, whatever, wherever you get it. And hell, even most of the people that make juice at these vape shops, they're not that clean of juice. This is the cleanest juice I found, and I only have to change an atomizer, like, or like cotton in a mechanical mod. My cotton stays white for like a month or two, like white-ish for that long. And I only have to change an atomizer like every 3 months, and you won't be able to get that long lasting of atomizer or cotton action any other way except, well, I haven't from any other juice brand. And it's legacy because my buddy that made it died, and his sister took over his recipe book because of all the fans. And like it's so good that I have replaced a lot of sugar intake with the juice. And like, I don't know, I don't have any of the side effects. Hell, I go without even vaping, but I just need something to do with my hands because of my lack of being able to stay on track, because I don't have that motivation, that that train of thought that I'm looking for, that I really had that one night and just not feeling it. Today's been Murphy's Law. My nerves are shot. I want to talk about more amusing things, but everywhere I look, it's fascist propaganda saying that we're already basically at war with Russia, and there's no actual evidence of it, like in reality, that I can find anywhere. So, and I have been all over the place, dark web, midgets, everywhere, turducken land. Yeah, today was Murphy's Law. I mentioned it earlier briefly in passing in conversation, and suddenly, like, it was happening. Next thing I know, I'm rummaging through the nastiest trash can in the world, possibly looking for something that just happened to fall off of the makeshift table behind me, and I don't want to talk about it. Like, it was just nonsense. But now things aren't so bad. I just yeah, I just have nothing better to do right now, except for maybe play with my dog, but I'm sure he misses me. But he hasn't walked up here tonight so far. Anyway, let's see. I've briefly mentioned several of those tweets. Where is another entertaining one here? Ah, here's something.
Subject of the Freedom Convoy USA 2022.
Something seems off about this to me and Millennium Millie, apparently.
Time for your State of the Union address. We are very organized.
And that's obviously a green screen.
Public. I even pulled a permit from the National Mall to be respectful. I just want to be as transparent as possible from the start so there's no confusion.
And how he's being so clear about it.
We're going to do this lawfully and constitutionally. I want the rest of the world to know our plans so that there's no twisting and lying about who and what we are. I'm coming to you as a father, a small business owner who's unaffiliated to any parties. We just want government overreach to end. On behalf of Freedom Convoy USA 2022,
but tyrants don't give up their power.
End the state of emergency, end the mandates once.
You have to redo the entire system.
Sir, the world is watching us because they know that if what's happening in Canada happens to us here in the land of the free, then freedom as we know it is gone.
He's reading a script, obviously, but
the decision is
why would a guy like that have a teleprompter and need a green screen and claim that he's actually on the National Mall when it's obvious he's got a spotlight in his face on a set?
To you other convoys that plan on meeting us here, we look forward to seeing you and joining with you. We're going to do this right. We're going to do this honorably.
You see, right and honorably and smart would be to stay the hell away from DC.
The government, our elected officials,
because that's what they want and that's what they planned since they paid to have it started.
For us we, the people,
Well,
to fix this.
in a sense, the globalists did.
We're ready to get back to our lives, the ones promised and guaranteed in the United
No,
States Constitution.
in South Africa,
Bill of
all of
Rights,
those white
and the
people got
contract
murdered.
that you signed and swore an oath to under the one true God.
Like, I think they're down to
This
like
is simple.
15 white
End
people
this.
total on the farms in that region. And yet they haven't talked about a word of it here in America. Actually, I got a warning for trying to post about it on Facebook at one point. And all I was doing is reposting what happened to a lady from the UK that went there that was really famous, I guess, over there. He has some accent, but to me it sounds like he's what is that place? It sounds to me like he's somewhere like northeastern, like he's traveled from like the Midwest, like Wisconsin area, to maybe like South Carolina or something like that, and like he's trying too hard to speak without an accent and to be clear. But I don't know, that's just my guess. But you're right, he does have some kind of accent. For all I know, it could be Ukrainian, who knows. Anyhow, let's see. And they can say anything they want on the news. Sorry, Alexander Hack. No, where is it? Maybe it was Instagram that I just saw that notification a minute ago. Nope, I see it. Just had to refresh in the stream. It's only a minute 21. Let's watch it.
But I actually think that what's going on here is that the West is leading Ukraine down the primrose path. And the end result is that Ukraine...
He underestimates the mobsters there, too. And
I believe...
And the fact when the Soviet Union was broke up,
neutralizing Ukraine and then building it up...
Us and Germany, sort of, and England also...
The best thing that could happen to Ukraine.
Well, the UN included in installing these leaders, these presidents, under the illusion of democracy.
We're encouraging the Ukrainians to think that they will ultimately become part of the West, because we will ultimately defeat Putin and we will ultimately get our way. Time is on our side.
And the U.S.
and of course
and globalists underestimate how hard it's going to be with a world superpower versus Saddam and Gaddafi.
And instead, want to pursue a hardline policy.
In the past.
As I said to you before, if they do that, the end result is that their country is going to be wrecked.
All right, Lady Dragon, just let me know, and I'll give you a night.
Much more sense.
And a yeehaw, maybe a little John or two.
Neutral Ukraine. It would be in our interest to bury this crisis as quickly as possible. It certainly would be in Russia's interest to do so. And most importantly, it would be in Ukraine's interest to put an end to the crisis. Thank you.
Yeah, and every source I can find of Ukrainian like regular average people putting up news that's not political, and the president's kind of even been playing it safe over there, but I can't find anything bad said unless it's actual like American or Ukrainian made propaganda, like as far as the bad actors go. And make sure you let me know before you go, and I'll give you a little John just for you. Maybe two. Turn down for what? Let's see.
But I actually think that what's going on...
Don't start again. I just want to be respectful and these things.
On here is
out of there.
The West is leading.
There you go. Shock and awe war. There was no war, and I don't even know. This stuff I saw today, which they would know my source if I even told it. I don't know where these things come from. these ideas that start in my mind, just me sitting around there, like putting pieces together, they just come to me. And then I don't want them to be true sometimes, usually actually. But I have learned over my lifetime to say the shit that's going on in my head, because when I keep it to myself, usually bad things happen, and knowledge is power. And I have the responsibility to share that knowledge. When I actually end up finding out that, turns out I'm pretty good at subconsciously putting together puzzle pieces of large concepts and seemingly unconnected things in the back of my mind, and they pop to me like ideas almost from my imagination. And either my mind creates reality as we go, or I'm just really good at subconsciously piecing things together, like, and seem psychic. So I don't like being that way sometimes. A lot of the time, actually, it makes life really shitty, and it makes it hard to actually work with the law of attraction, because I can just see cause and effect like really well into the future. That's probably my only gift other than understanding. And I don't know. My mom was getting on my ass about how DHS might be right about me spreading misinformation or whatever. And I was like, do you seriously think that I enjoy or even believe that any of these things are true myself? It's not my fault that they just keep happening pretty much. Like I say, maybe a few details changed, and that's because of free will, but like Florida ocean. I know nothing about Florida other than the Keys are where they take people to get them out of country when they are smuggling people, and that needs to be stopped. But they're distracting from that and the rest of the craziness. Like the another bad actor that was arrested that had associations with the guy with the island, which I'm not going to say because of the AI cruising through and already picking apart. It took 6 hours. No, wait. It took half a day for the last live stream I did to process, just because the AI had to go through it. And I'm sure humans went through it too. And I didn't think it was going to stay in existence on YouTube. I'm still very surprised it did. Gotcha. All I can think of is apple bottom jeans and the boots with the fur. I don't know. Sorry. Let's see here. Next big gun control fight. Yeah. I unless saying it stops it, I really believe that they're going to use this trucker convoy to strip away our rights worse than Canada ever would. And they have to do it worse than Canada ever would, because the Canadians don't have a bunch of people that are religious about their guns. Not as many, not in such high concentration. I mean, West Virginia would straight split off as away from the United States if they tried to take guns. I know that for a fact. Yeah, they can't do that. So they got to be tricky about it, and they got to make people believe it's for their own good. As the thrice line goes, we hate to lie to children, but after all, it's all for their own good. Which I don't agree at all. I'm actually kind of a little bit on the lying or Christmas lying side, but I'm not all down for cutting magic out of children's lives. Like, because the thought of magic being there, the unknown and stuff, that is very important for a child's imagination and development. But they don't got to be lying at the same time, because there's plenty of wonderment in the world. You just got to get these preconceived notions based on the religion control aspect and fear and guilt aspects, and got to look past the whole I don't know, the paradigm, everything involving the paradigm and the things that have been proven in the last 20 years to be a extreme possibility or fact. that was once considered science fiction or magic. So magic and science fiction is just something that's usually 20 years from being explained by science in the science fiction case, but magic is just something that's been suppressed. Usually that's some sort of science, the arcane. That's why I just call it the arcane, the secret knowledge. It's tunnel vision hiding how bad things are. It's possible. I really like Zero Hedge. They're the only person that seems to say unbiased. Freezing and Tad. Yeah, there's probably gremlins. They probably don't like this conversation at all, first of all. And second of all, I can hear my mom streaming shit down there because I don't think she realized that I moved back the live stream, even though I told her. But I'm the one that told her to get on Amazon and stop watching the thing where it shows like one picture of like Trump or something and has random people that you only may recognize the voices of a few. And I swear that one guy is Tom Arnold that has the boots and the Ferrari and you only see his hands in the boots. Yeah, he sounds like Tom Arnold. He was always on Roseanne's live streams. And I mean, come on. It's got to be Tom Arnold. Although I don't know how he'd get a Lamborghini unless he's involved in some shady stuff. But or was good at saving his money for the few jobs he actually did have 20 years ago. Sorry. Follow the data, then they hit it. Yeah, that's right here. I know this is a possibly personal thing, but I am very angry at Elon Musk for inventing PayPal to pay for porn because I believe monetizing porn and what Elon did was what ruined the internet in the first place. Because I remember the internet before PayPal when you had to buy things off eBay with a check or sending in a money order if you're under 18 and want to get something you're not allowed to have, or credit card, whatever. Well, I don't know. They didn't use cards at that point in time. Definitely didn't, because I definitely would have tried to. Anyway, I just, the internet was such a place where only people had meetings of the minds, where businesses that happen to have a computer geek, 107, yeah, that guy, that's got to be Tom Arnold. I don't care who you are. I'm usually not wrong with voices, and if I caught a glance, like even a profile view, I would be sure. Like I don't know. I can only see Tom Arnold with that voice. Anyhow, I love a man in boots. But I know it's something close to you, but I mean, seeing things like BBC shows how kids can walk into metaverse strip clubs. Don't make it the corporation's problem. Don't restrict people who have lost large portions of their lives to porn addiction from getting their porn. Just be a responsible parent and stay 10 steps ahead of them on the internet censorship. If you're even going to give a kid young enough for it to matter a device in the first place, which I mean, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs don't give their kids that garbage for a reason. I don't understand. I didn't get any messages. How did that sound just keep coming up over and over again? Anyhow, yeah, I just truly believe that parents need to be way more responsible for what their kids are into these days. It just sickens me. I last time. Nice. Yeah, I know it's not a compliment, but I'm never without shoes, but I switched to barefoot shoes. I even sleep in shoes because I forget they're on because they're so comfortable. I'm wearing boots right now because it's muddy and my dog made me walk him right before this. And when I work, of course, because sometimes I don't like my feet to freeze when it's cold out or whatever, and they work as good, steady platforms for standing in one place. I thought that like his face hadn't been shown or whatever, so he could maintain his whatever. Sorry, I'm taking my boots off. I just realized I was still wearing them. They're why I keep falling asleep sitting up. Oddly enough, like uncomfortable feet make me shut down as much as being cold. And yeah, seriously, the internet was such a better place with less crazy people and I don't know, less everything that we consider negative in our society today. Like there's just intelligent people and things to do and things to learn, and you could spot fake news a mile away because the people were obviously nuts. How'd you see them? My mom lives in front of those shows, and I don't believe she's even caught a glance of them. I try whenever I do see it. See, I got the murder glove shoes on. Like, if the shoe doesn't fit, you must have quit. Kangaroo leather. Anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I try to catch them in videos, you know, just accidentally being seen in a reflection and stuff. And I don't know. I only see boots and hands. Stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe things have changed since I last paid attention. I've gone on strike from any of the second coming of Trump stuff. If it has like 10 feet of people that say anything that I learned about 10 or 15 years ago and proved it to be nonsense beyond the shadow of a doubt, and all these people usually in their 40s and older are spouting it off because they just heard about it as if it's truth and all this stuff. I just, in one ear and out the other, I don't watch the nonsense. Like, they mix too much truth with things that I have proved to myself beyond the shadow of a doubt is not truth, and they confuse the hell out of people, like, and caused me and my mom a lot of arguments about when she's trying to impress me, and I'm like, Mom, that story's been around since the 70s, and it's been proven by people that I trust because they haven't been wrong so far, like, without, you know, admitting they were wrong, stuff like that, real people, and they've proven it to me, you know, stuff like that. I'm not saying one is but I mean, a lot of these people have been wrong a lot of the time, and if I hear talk of med beds one more time, I am going to smack the shit out of an old person. Yeah, the technology is possible, but and yeah, it's possible that actually it's very likely our government has something like that, but there's no plans to roll out med beds or any of this Nasara, Jasara, whatever. Yeah, it's all a bunch of talk that the people that were intentionally spreading misinformation that are like basically CIA disinformation agents, like they start throwing stuff like that around, and all these people that just got into the truth movement or whatever, the arcane stuff, they just start believing everything, and like, I don't know. I just, maybe it's so easy to see because I've been in the circuit since I was 8 or 10, but like, I don't know. It just seems like people age 40 or 45 and up seem to just believe the craziest stuff nowadays, or none of the crazy stuff at all, that even the true stuff, it just seems like one extreme or the other, and it makes me feel bonkers. And so I've just turned off my ears. I've been disassociating from the truth community and only supporting my favorites, of course, the fam, as I call them, because I talk to the YouTubers that I watch more than I talk to people I once considered my best friends, and now I'm not even really sure if that is a real thing. Like, I believe that people do what is convenient for them in this day and age, and that's why I back my words with actions, even if it makes me look like a fool or makes my my conditions of living suck. I do what I say, and I say what I mean, and it becomes easier the more you have to screw up your entire life just to make sure that you show how much you mean something. Yeah. Anyway, there was something that I wanted to also show beyond that video of Bernie's and whatever I hit on the way there. Only a quarter of Americans want major involvement in Ukraine-Russia war, which there is no war so far anyway. Only 36% approve. Yeah, who cares? Who knows who even makes those things? Or I don't see how polls are, unless they do massive polls like by foot, the way they would do elections. I don't see how any poll can be valid because people are too different. I've yet to speak to a person who I believe is on any sort of similar wavelength to me. Like, and if they are, it's just for a couple weeks, and then everything beyond the couple week conversations where things match seem to make me feel quite alien again. Or when I am around anyone for a long period of time, they seem very alien to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just boring. Russian forces have advanced closer to Kiev. U.S. defense official says. Which U.S. defense official? I don't even know if that info is on zerohedge.com. I probably should go there for these, but it is what it is. But the U.S. can't confirm reports that Russian forces have taken control of Chernobyl. And let's see. I already read those. Hey, speaking of the Kremlin, did you guys know that the Kremlin has the exact same measurements in cubits as I think the second temple in the Bible, or it's all, I don't know. I get all those temples mixed up, the first, second, third, but I'm pretty sure it's the second temple. Its description exactly matches that of the Kremlin. And then the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which I don't, same general area. I don't know why my brain keeps trying to tell me that they're the same thing as the second temple, for instance. But the description of that matches exactly by if you just step out of the box, the description matches the place in the Andes, what I can't think about right now, what it's called. Wow, Machu Picchu. It matches the descriptions of Machu Picchu and surrounding landscape, and the Temple of the Gate, which Babylon means gate, or Temple of the Gate. I don't remember. There's some kind of relation there. Look it up. I'm sure that Russian dude who has all those books that blows my mind why they're not more well known since they speak so much truth. I'll remember it at some point. Probably not tonight, though. Solomon's Temple, 2 crosses. What are you talking about? I don't get it. Expound on your statement, if you don't mind. Yeah, Solomon did do at least one of them, but I'm more about the Goetia and the lesser keys of Solomon. I mean, I did have a seal of Solomon, but yeah, that's Necronomicon, but it's similar, extremely similar to one or more of the seals. Come on, T-dubs. Expound on the two crosses part. Well, I'm saying, like, when it says how Solomon's Temple was built, like the dimensions, the lengths, all that stuff, the measurements all can fit on several places on the planet, but most closely to... All right. Yay! Yeah, that wasn't as good as I'd like. You got a little John. Merry Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's an option that you can keep people who put a lot of emojis, like, from being able to do that, but that might be on Twitch. I don't know. I thought of you whenever I saw that option the other day. I don't believe anyone. Oh yeah, they're trying to say that Russia killed cryptocurrency, and yeah, I don't know. It could be a lot of John. What? All right. But they say Russia crashed cryptocurrency today, and the truth is the globalists crashed it because Russia definitely has been supporting it for weeks now and is the only reason that it's been going up again. You see, emojis take too long, and you can't just like type equals and then D, or a bunch of equals and a D, you know. But equals and a D to make a big smiley face, like, so easily on some places. Like, there you... Oh, come on. That's more like notebook role playing with virtual hug. I don't even understand what most of the emojis are. Like, see, now if they had an emoji where it was like points at fork and teaches it to do the Macarena, I'd be down. But I like emoticons, and I don't believe their time has passed. I just hate it when my emoticons get changed into emojis, because it should be illegal. I drive you? You drive me crazy, baby. No, yeah. Anyway, we're just gonna pretend I didn't start singing Britney Spears. Damn it. I gotta finish it. Maybe I am more like Sheldon than I thought. Baby, thinking of you keeps me up all night. Oh, something strange. I know the dance to Oops, I Did It Again, and I don't think I should. Yeah, I don't know what the emojis mean 99% of the time. They confuse me. I just use them when I need to replace words with something hilarious, like sheep and cattle, things like that. It's always more fun. And I like doing RPGs. What skirt? I don't know what skirt you're talking about. Oh, okay. You know, I want a kilt with my coat of arms embroidered into it. I would wear that. I'd even wear a pink t-shirt with it, like one of the, extra long, like skin tight ones, like emo. I don't know. I went through an emo punk sort of phase in high school, and it's still a part of me in there somehow. But I thought for a second you were talking about the Neo coat that's on under the green shirt, because I didn't feel like finding a hanger. But yeah, I can't even tell what those tiny ass emojis are. Let's blow them up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do. Peace. And now for something completely different. I'm sorry you lose both your 3-piece suite and your youngest daughter. No, Monty Python. Matter of fact, I cannot find any of my Monty Python clips, so pretend this is... No way. It looks like someone took one of the 107 looks like someone took a Baldwin and put some like face appliances on him. I'm not even joking. He does look like a Baldwin with a bunch of fake face fat. Anyway, yeah, so here's the victory thing that goes off in my head every time there's a victory. And that was for you, Dragon Lady. Not that you're leaving, but that's what I was talking about the other day. However, I think we're probably going to end it soon here unless you guys want to do some karaoke. So, T-Dubs, you want to hop on here and sing some karaoke? Like, I'm partially joking, but if you didn't hear my Whole New World like song the other day, that not only may have or may be getting me a lawsuit or sued by Disney in the future, but everyone can sing. I've proven it time and time again. It's mostly a stigma. It just, everything's possible with practice, unless you're a smoker or a drinker, especially a drinker. People that drink usually smoke too, not always, but that combination seems to make people's ability to stretch their vocal cords go to shit, especially if they don't sing every day. But I don't know. As I get older, it's harder to stretch my vocal cords. But anyway, yeah, Disney might be suing me because awesome. I have drank more before I was 21 in bars than I have since I was 21 at all. Believe it or not. Like, I did a lot of cocaine and partying in bars before I was 21. Before I was 18, actually. Just random fact to prove how transparent I am. Oh, Ukraine got invaded video by Andreas. Interesting. Let's check that one out. I want to see his source and why exactly. See, things can always get interesting. Baby, thinking of you, kiss me up all night. Why am I still singing Britney Spears? What? I'm entertained. Oh goodness, I'm dying here. I gotta thank him for this. Love the clickbait. It is definitely going on live and I can't bring myself to stop it. I love it. I don't care what anyone says. Embrace the weird. See, if I were slightly more creative and had a bigger budget, I would be pulling off all sorts of outfits because I love outfits. But so far, as far as my editing and special effects goes, well, the extent of it you can see on my recent video of Allegheny Slam. All right, I don't know how much more of this I can watch at the moment. Hey, words. I like words. But that is definitely some truth. Truth in this booth. Ain't no doubts when I'm rapping. If I say it, if I say it, I've either done it or it's about to happen. Wow, I can't speak. All right. I knew Tartario was going to jump in there at some point, but that's good stuff. Good stuff. Makes me feel, well, I keep seeing the word Requiem in this Korn video and thinking Requiem for a Dream, and then I get really bugged out and forget what I'm doing. Yeah. So Tesla and the Little Mermaid. I'm gonna have to watch that one. I need to get off of this damn this channel because I'm gonna get lost. But I can't even unsubscribe from Lee Wheelbarger's channel, and I'm tired of seeing the indoctrinated stuff there. And I don't know why Dark Journalist will not reply to any messages I send personally, even if it supports what he says. And turkey loaves. All right. I am going to probably now end this because that was a perfect note to end things on. And it's 2:30 in the morning. I don't even know how long I've been streaming. Yeah, 12:30. 2 hours. That's not bad. Oh, it's right there. 2:02. Yeah. So first I'm gonna make my my light back there do something cool, just because I think that, oh my, I'm glad it didn't just send all of that to Andreas. Yeah, I'm going to just back out of that. But yeah, Govey, way more affordable than the people I promoted in the past, being LifeX and Philips Hue, and way just as bright as LifeX for like half the price. And does more too. They all integrate, and turkey, nachos, nacho cheese. I'm gonna go stand by it so it focuses. And pull this light bulb that's randomly plugged into the floor. I'm totally, no, I'm not blocking it. Come on, focus. Ah, that's why. Me. All right. Focus on the light. There we go. Or I bring light to you. I just love it. Govey. With the discount coupon on Amazon, you can pick one of these up for about $100. They got a remote control. You can control them with the app. You can take a picture of something and it'll interpret things as different light scenery. There's all sorts of neat ones. Of course, the standard. I love driving people insane with them. In real life, it looks way cooler than the videos. Way cooler! Of course, you can...
After you pick it up, it's what? Drop it like it's hot.
Turn the sensitivity down. Or switch your phone. Wah! Alright, good. Golly Miss Molly. Yeah, I like these better. Separation. Midgets. Luminous. Oh no. Wow, they got some new ones. Candy Crush. I'm crushing that candy. Here is the box. That's why it's not hearing with a damn. There we go. Well, not my little ass voice, because I got so many fans on my computer. There's like 8 fans that are like as big as 300 centimeter. I don't know. Millimeters. Yeah, that's it. Midgets. 300 midgets. And a cardboard bowling pin, and just displaying the different light effects. And I have to talk because, yes, obvious. Turkeys, turkeys, turkeys. Moon Glorious! And 7 smiling salmon swimming upstream to spawn. Poppin'. All right. It is that time. And I'm going to end up having something like, yeah, they are badass. You can actually program all of their products, to my knowledge, to work together, but I couldn't tell you, and that's probably why I'm not working as an ambassador for them right now. Whoa. Wah, wah. Yep. Anyhow. Yeah, I want to get their like things for the TV, but there's something I was going to say, but I don't remember. I really don't. I want to sword fight with someone, or put up the green screen, or throw this grappling hook over yonder at someone. I'm surprised the computer didn't restart, because it restarted about 50 times trying to play Destiny 2, which I'm going to upload footage from the new portion of it today. So everyone has that to look forward to, or not. But it really goes with the times. Like on the on Bernie's Crypto Alchemist channel, like they be talking about resonance and frequency and all that, and on Autodidactic, and yeah, it turns out the video games are resonating. Like that's why I think TV, movies, video games, they're all important. They enable someone's imagination to be able to break out of the box. And I find that people with no imagination or creativity, usually people that were either really busy when they're young and or just didn't have enough parental supervision, I don't know, whatever the reason, they usually were never really into imaginative things, like the people that had the magic taken away. Well, depressing. But no, being really into things like that gear people more towards fantasy and sci-fi things, or video games, stuff like that. Those people tend to have an easier time breaking out of the paradigms that are brainwashed, or that we've been, God, I can't think of the word I used most ever. Like, they have people more indoctrinated. There we go. People are more indoctrinated and harder to break out of the paradigms whenever they don't really watch movies, TV, or play video games. The right kind of all those things, of course, but I mean, you don't necessarily look at things as reality, but you see how they can apply in the life that you have experienced. See how little things like that, like, and also help you to dream, come up with new things, which is how we come up with inventions, apparently. But then again, they say there's nothing new under the sun. So, yeah. On that note, I'm going to pick some nifty little effects here and make sure it has lots of flashing so that I can give people seizures if possible. Here's Starry Night turned into lights, actually. It's pretty neat. Now let's find something flashy. Not flashy enough. I was thinking there was something flashy about that one. All right, I suddenly don't care anymore, but that one's cool. All right. On that note, someone should comment with something hilarious to do with the mask required sign. This is made in Italy. I just think it's cool. It never gets enough showtime. I need to dust it off, but I'm not going to rotate it around because I just glued the base back together because it is old and coming apart and keeps falling. But it has some interesting things on it that I have yet to even really look at in detail. So there could be some Tartaria on there. I don't know, but I might find out live at some point. And have you already got old Erwin Nettles there? Because yeah, Erwin Nettles is blocked. Serving 2 light bulbs that had a coupon. Are they like the tall bulbs or lights that are like columns that go with the strip, like for the TV? Sorry, I just noticed that. Like a bunch of things are popping up out of order. But it is time to end. Not a lot of news tonight, but I feel like things are wrapped up, and I wanted to make an announcement that I probably won't be doing much more live streams unless something major happens, because my mom and the rest of my family is terrified that I'm going to end up in some place equivalent to Guantanamo due to living in the town where the U.S. previously known as the National Debt Office is, and now known as Bureau of Fiscal Service, because I guess they don't want to remind people that we owe trillions upon trillions. But yeah, and there's something else going on, because a lot of the federal plates in this town do not belong to anyone that works there. I only ever see them driving around, and they're in way too nice of cars to be working at or too shitty on the flip side, depends, to be working there. And some of them might be FBI, but I don't know. This town is too weird and seemingly not important enough for anything crazy, and way too far away from a ley line for as much crazy stuff that goes on here. But with that note, since crazy shit has happened until tonight, when I just have been basically mostly repeating what I've already said and all this shit, and I don't know, I've wrapped it up. We'll see. I'm gonna keep track of the truckers here in America, and if nothing new happens, if nothing special happens, I mean, I might get on and admit I'm wrong, and And that would be probably not live, but it'd be during the old the stream I have planned there. So with that said, well, there's still 2 people in here. Yeah, it was something. I was hoping someone would actually get on and video with me, but it costs like $40 a month for StreamYard, and I don't care enough about live streaming to be paying that every month. So once was quite enough for me. So I probably won't be doing too much streaming since I wouldn't get to stream in full HD when I want to stream in 4K. So yeah, I'm probably just going to do pre-made interviews, videos, stuff like that by whatever means, maybe use free StreamYard to do that. At least for the conversation part on one side of it. But yeah, you're welcome, T-Dubs. And anyone else still chilling? Peace and salmon. Don't know what that means, but it is what it is. And Merry Christmas to all, and to all, I don't know. Be the change is still like the best thing ever. Rex, you rule. You'll always be an island to me, and I won't get over thinking of you as a star. And that's crazy. As soon as that ended, we got some loud ass lightning that sounded like there was like a truck. I might play another clip here. So yeah, here's my info. Yeah, forget the starting soon part. That's just gay. Or not relevant, whatever. Come on, upload other thing.
The shit is